What is going on, everyone? Today is Sunday, December 8th. We are going to get into our Week 14 NFL football slate. We got 5 games on the slate today. Real quick, obviously, we had some big college football games yesterday, conference championship weekend. We'll start out in the Mountain West. We saw Boise State take down UNLV 21-7. Army, I posted this on our Instagram. Army's quarterback went 2 for 2 with 17 yards. As Army took down Tulane 35-14,
That's some American
340-yard
football.
rushing on the ground there for Army. Love to see that. And then we jump over to what was the first game on Saturday? The Big 12 championship. Arizona State routed Iowa State. Sketabo and Dilling. I like that coach Dillingham. Is that what is it? Kenny Dillingham. He's definitely. I think Arizona State's on the up and up. I don't. Obviously, that running back won't be there next year. But
best running back in the league. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what he's claiming. I don't know if he's right about that, but I don't know if he's heard of the guy up to the Heisman.
Some of those big runs yesterday. He was breaking
his run style transfers to the NFL too. Like just that hard run in your face.
20 plus this year, right?
Yeah, 2,000 plus and 20 plus touchdowns. So Arizona State. Then we saw Texas go down. As soon as Georgia got the ball in overtime, I knew that game was over. Georgia wins 22-19. Clemson takes down SMU on a last-second field goal to take that ACC championship 34-31. And then the night game we saw, I guess the other one was the night game as well. Oregon take down Penn State. Penn State 37, Oregon 45. Oregon gets the cover there. I did have Penn State there. Drew Aller fucking threw an interception with 2 minutes left. That's
Homer pick. It
really wasn't, dude. It was just where the money was. Money was all over Oregon. Jesse went to Penn State, but I'm not. That's not why I bet it. But Texas, if anything, was a biased pick for me. But I didn't bet them yesterday, so it's a little different.
That Oregon team, though, I think I saw something. They've had some good money lines this year, and people that keep rolling over that bankroll on putting their money line, and you've made some good money this year.
I mean, they're 13-0 for the first time in program history, which in my opinion is kind of crazy. But Oregon's undefeated heading into the playoffs as the 1 seed.
Their defense ended up winning that game from yesterday. It was surprising that they kind of crumbled in the big moment, giving up 37 points at home. Not something you expect to see from the number 1 seed, but that offense was able to carry the team and get the job done, putting up 40 plus.
Yeah, I agree. So some good college games. Obviously, we'll see what comes of this bracket in a few weeks. Obviously, next week we got Army Navy, and then we'll get our first look at the official bracket.
No Bama.
And the standings on Monday. But we'll jump into the NFL. Our first game on the slate is Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Steelers are a 7-point home favorite, over under 43.5. Steelers money line minus 300. Browns plus 240. Me and Jesse will be in attendance at this one, and you got to shop this line. I got the Steelers at minus 6.5, minus 110. Obviously, like I just said, it's minus 7, minus 105 here. So make sure you shop that line. I got 6.5. I think the Steelers handle business on their home field. Obviously, like we were talking earlier, clear weather, no issues with weather today, no rain, no snow. I think Russ has a big day. Pickens, obviously, like I sent to you guys, we got the gold end zones back. Steelers love to win when we get those. Put up a lot of points. I think Steelers have a good day today. Give me the Steelers minus 6.5 to almost – I don't want to say embarrass Cleveland, but I'd love to see us 31-7 this fucking team.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the chat tuning in too. Guappuccino, I mean, the Texans are off today, so not going to see them on our slate. Not going to talk about them fantasy related, but I think they might need this bye to really reset and get going for a bigger second half push. Maybe we see that little playoff run there. So definitely keep the chat rolling here. Let us know of any fantasy questions you got, any betting questions, any NFL questions on today or looking ahead. Definitely want to help you guys out. But like Huff said, this Steelers-Browns game should be a pretty good one after their first matchup was pretty solid. We got someone in the chat here hammering the Steelers today. A lot of people, I think, are going to be hammering the Steelers. In the AFC North, we know these teams love to split. They already dropped one to the Browns, so I think it's their turn to go and win. But this is going to be a good game here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns keep it close. I initially said a 19-16 prediction for me, but it's tough to count out these Steelers with the way that Russ has been playing. I know that he probably doesn't have to have the week he had against the Bengals last week, but it should be a good one here. Shout out to Lay's Phenom in the chat, coming over from the log, tuning in on the YouTube there, talking about the Birds by a million, Saquon for the MVP. I think those are definitely some good picks right there. I don't know if you guys saw, but that $3.1 million bet on the Eagles today has really got my interest peaked. But talking
You
about
think it
this,
hits? You think it hits?
I think it's got to, right? But Bryce Young, he's scary of all
Did
people
you
that
see?
are
Did you see what I
undefeated.
said? I think obviously Trent Booker with Trent quote tweeted that, and he was the one that the tweet that was on that graphic. I said this is one of the rare instances. I think I agree to him. If I had the $3 million to just obviously, if you have to be able to afford to lose $3 million, but Ed is almost a free $350,000. 14-point spread. I don't think there's a way that in Philly too. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to jinx this guy's bet, but like Panthers have looked good. I wouldn't be surprised if Panthers cover. I think there's no chance they win.
But do you think that? Yeah, I think they could cover. They got 13 and a half. You tease them down right here. We got someone in the chat going with plus 14 on the Panthers today. If you tease them down, you're getting almost 3 touchdowns on that line. Pretty crazy. And that money line, if someone's risky enough to ride with Bryce Young, then I think you're gonna have a nice payday. Chat, I love you guys popping in. Cardinals Seahawks. We're gonna get to that game in a bit, so definitely stick around. Some people saying, yeah, that Steelers game was in the snow last time, Huff. I think that took a big account into what we saw. Hoss, if you want to get into the Steelers Browns game, I think the Steelers win today. I think Pickens gets in the end zone, and I think it's a 19-16 victory for the Steelers here. Some people are saying they take them to roll today, and they're taking that spread. But Hoss, let me know what you're thinking about this AFC North matchup.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget. I mean, it definitely wasn't the snow. It was like playing in the snow globe last time they played. But Russell Wilson still threw for 270 yards. It's kind of something insane. And honestly, we talked a little bit about it earlier, Huff. But I really like that Russell Wilson over on the passing yards today. Obviously, with all that in mind, hopefully Calvin Austin can break a big one for you guys. But give me George Pickens today for sure. I think he's going to have a really good day in the air. Obviously, that defense is going to get after it just like they normally do. But I think it's going to be a different game script in Acrisure Stadium. Obviously, when you get to play this team twice a year, and it's going to be a fun one. Obviously, a divisional
Twice in
matchup.
3 weeks too.
Shout out to Zach
Yeah.
10 jumping in the chat too. I'm gonna go Aaron Jones over Braylon Allen every day of the week, even though Braylon Allen is stepping in for the injured Brees Hall. Definitely keep these questions coming. Once we get through our final take here in this game, we will get to all of your questions here. But my last point here on this Steelers and Browns game, if you are looking for someone to fire up in fantasy this week, I think Jalen Warren's a good plug and play. If he's still out there in your waiver wire, probably isn't with all the buys this week. But I went and snagged him, putting him in. Him and Najee's a nice little dual running back situation there in Pittsburgh. They both get the rock enough, and they can both get in the end zone and put up good yardage. Huff, any last takes on this Steelers Browns game before we get to some of these questions in the chat here? Our viewers are
Yeah, I
chomping.
already have, like Koss said, I do have 2 plays locked in on this one. I said I took the -6.5, and I do have Russ over 224.5 on the passing yards, at -115. I want to say it was. I think it was -115 over 224.5. I got that number on ESPN. So, yeah, I'm excited for this game today. Steelers Browns, always a good game. Obviously wasn't in the past. I miss when we used to just roll this team with no questions, but. They have a good roster, and I'm expecting Jameis to sling it all around the yard. Not 500 yards, but
Are we getting a Jameis quote today? We getting a good Jameis quote?
you'll get something. He never misses.
Yeah, he doesn't miss. And I think Jerry Jeudy continues to eat. I know that you guys have that top-notch secondary, but, I mean, after that performance last week, he's firing on all cylinders. But, chat, I love to see you popping in here. Guappuccino, like I said, Booka, we're going to get to this Seahawks-Cardinals game here in a bit, so definitely stick around. My initial take, though, I'll tell you right now, is those Arizona Cardinals. I think they're going to push that division. The Seahawks fall apart. Some people, Hoff, agreeing with you. It's going to be a high-scoring game in that Pittsburgh-Cleveland one. I wouldn't be surprised with nicer weather today. Just a little chilly there, but it should be a good one. It's a sad weekend when we don't get Ravens football, Hoss. The chat saying that. They love you in the Ravens room there. I know you're definitely feeling it without them. Biggest underdog, best bet. I mean, we'll get to that.
Honestly, good point, too. Just to preface, this is not a Deontay Johnson jersey. I was really early on the Roquan Smith sign when we traded for him in Chicago.
Deontay Johnson's
bought the jersey right away. Yeah, this is not Deontay Johnson. This is Roquan Smith, Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah, all right. Keeping it going here in the chat, though. Braylon Aaron Jones, like I said, Aaron Jones. Abik Patel, thanks for tuning in. Jefferson is so due. I think he is, too. Some people saying you think the Steelers win by 10 plus today. I think they should as well. Falcons upset of the day. Kirkle changes return to Minnesota. We'll get to that game. That's going to be a great one to talk about. Jameis Winston has 4 TDs, 2 INTs today. I mean, that's a crazy stat line. You think that the Browns are putting up 4 scores through the air. That's not to mention any on the ground or through the kicking boot as well. So that'll be interesting to watch. Elijah Moore or Jake Ferguson, Huff. You like Jake Ferguson to come back with a vengeance on Monday Night Football, first game back against those Bengals?
I've kind of hopped off Ferguson, but against who was the other one? Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
for the
probably have
Browns.
to go Ferguson in that situation against a weak Bengals defense.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of points to be had, and him being out the last few weeks, Cooper Rush is going to be happy to have him back. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds Pater as well. I'd fire up Jake Ferguson, good guy to have going into Monday Night
That's
Football.
Schoonmaker. He stepped in nice in Dallas.
Yeah, and exactly. And Rush is going to find Ferguson early and often. He found Schoonmaker. It's going to be a big day for Ferg, I think. Allen is a good TD. Start him. I like Allen. I do too. I mean, I'm going to go with Aaron Jones over him personally, but I think Braylon Allen does have a solid game too.
He's
If
gonna
he
have the
also-
volume for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm playing Braylon Allen in fantasy. The guy I'm playing on in the semifinals, he had Brees Hall, and he just immediately picked up Braylon Allen.
Someone in
Yeah,
the
it's been
chat
telling
saying
everybody.
Giants and Raiders pull off the upsets today. I'm off both of those personally. If you guys had to pick one, Giants, Raiders, who's going with the upset today?
I would say Raiders. I think the Raiders can at least cover that game. My upset of the day. We'll get into this next
Bucks
game.
team is primed to go to the division and take this division. I think they're the best team in the South. Baker Mayfield every day of the week. Chat, let me know if you think about this NFC South. Do you think Baker Mayfield is the one to get it done, or can Kirk O'Chains turn around and start taking over people's traps? Cuff, a couple more here before we get to these next few games. I'll let you give your take on that Raiders game as well. Let me just answer some quick ones here. Flex one, Dilk Wilson, DK Pollard, Rashad Charbonnet. I like Charbonnet with Kenneth Walker on the bench, but if that's Garrett Wilson, we're definitely starting him any day of the week. Falcons today, like I said, we'll get to that game shortly. Titans -3, no Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Mac Jones stepping in well. I like the over there the most. I think that the Titans do win this one as well. I'm firing up Will Levis because I have Stroud and Nix. They're both on the bye. I like Ridley too. I'm going with the stack. And then, of course, Nick Westbrook-Akine. He's a touchdown machine. So if you got him, let him go. Favorite money line of the day. We're going to get to that as we keep going. Chase Brown or Isaac Garendo? Oof, that's a great question there. I like Isaac Garendo. I think he finds Peter definitely, but I think Chase Brown also has a solid day in Monday Night Football in a high-scoring game. Vikings are going to win 33-10 today, Sam. I like that take. I hope so. I'm all over these Vikings. The Hawkinson, Jefferson, Addison, the Zinn brothers, all on that offense will be getting going. And Sam Darnold's playing good football. People like Charbonnet, Kirk throwing 3 picks from Ty. I could see that. Allen or Westbrook-Akine in the flex. Let's go Allen first. He's going to get big workload, and we know they like their running backs. But keep coming in with your questions in the chat. We'll give out some anytime touchdowns in our locks of the week. If you got a donation, we'll hit us with that, and we'll give it to you right away. If not, stick around, and we'll give it to you there. We got a skull in the chat, so shout out to that. Huff, let's get into our next game here. I know we got a lot more on the slate.
Yeah, speaking of our next game, Falcons at Vikings. Vikings are a 6-point home favorite. Over under 46. Vikings money line -275. Falcons +225. I obviously said on Wednesday that I like the or on the podcast I said that I like the Falcons. I like them plus the 6 points. I think they're at least going to hang around this game. They just haven't had the ability to come out and win these kinds of games recently, so I'm going to avoid that +225 on the money line. I like the 6 points. I like them even better if you tease them. I don't think they lose this game by more than 13 points if they lose. I'll take the Falcons. I think they're a great teaser opportunity. I'm probably not going to put this on my card because the line movement is going up. I said I liked it at Falcons +5. Now, obviously, we're sitting at +6. Wouldn't be surprised to see Minnesota get back on. They need to stay in that race in the NFC North if they want to have a chance at that top wild card spot with how good the Packers have been. And obviously, the Lions are now 12-1. Give me the Falcons here. I think they hang close. Obviously, a very tough place to play. I'm not going to bet this one personally, though. I said this was my favorite spread of the week, and it's moving the direction I didn't want it to move, so I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, and shout out to Maryface there jumping in, TikTok coming along, and all of a sudden everyone is a betting expert. Not even betting experts, fantasy experts too, NFL experts. Barrett, I want to hear your takes that are going to be a little bit better than that because I don't think they're going to be better than ours. Let's keep the chat going. Aaron, what's up to you? Hoss, we got some people in the chat saying Kirk O'Chains throwing for a big 243+ yard passing day. A lot of people like Jefferson to get in the end zone. Abik Patel has Jefferson to get in. Yet Lace Feed, I'm saying he complains in the chat every time Jefferson doesn't get in. I'll give my take after you, but let me know what you think about this one.
So honestly, I really think it's weird, and we talked about this a little bit earlier too, Huff. But it's weird that Sam Darnold's been playing really good football on that Vikings team, and I think things have started to come together in that passing attack. But he still has been yet to be offered a contract and a long-term deal to stay in Minnesota. But I really like the opportunity he has today against this Falcons secondary. I think, like you said, fire up the Zinn brothers if you got them in fantasy. They're all going to be getting the rock. He's going to be slinging it all over the place, but. Kirk Cousins' return to Minnesota, I think this is going to be a good one for him. I mean, that 6.5 points may be a little bit too much for the Vikings to be able to cover. But I actually really like them. I like a lot of different props in this game. Definitely fire up a Jefferson touchdown. Abik Patel, shout him out in the chat again. But Aaron Jones obviously is probably going to get in as well. And I actually really like Jordan Addison after he didn't get in last week. I think he'll have a pretty good one this week.
Yeah, and shout out to Anthony Rogers in the chat. Great take. Probably the best take I've seen so far in the chat. So shout out to you. Give us a follow. Would like to hear some more from you as we go. As a Vikings fan, when in doubt, take the Falcons spread. We like to keep the games close for some reason. And the Falcons like to lose really close games. I think this number is way too big. And so I'm going to stick with the Vikings on the money line here. I think it goes over. I am going to validate over 243.5 passing yards today. Sam, let me know what I'm fading today. Fade those Steelers. They're one of the worst teams in the league. I think their double-digit wins is as fraudulent as it gets. I just want to fire up the chat here. No, I do think that that we do see the Steelers win today. But if you do need to fade anything, maybe you can fade these Falcons here this week. On the money line, though, we're going to go with that. Huff, we got the chat saying a Drake London anytime touchdown. I know you love to hear that. It's just music to your ears. Fade the Falcons from Ocho. Ocho, thanks for tuning in and letting us know that. Putting 11-leg Hail Mary in Dante. I mean, I love to see that, but Mason saying he's got a better hit rate than us. I do like his plus 950. Put your life on it parlay with Pollard, Barkley, and Justin Jefferson tutties. I mean, I don't know if we're putting the life on it, but we put something there. We got Michael Mackey jumping in the chat now.
Sam, not in the chat. He's in the stream. He's here.
Yeah, in the stream. Mackey, let the people know what's up. You got Sam in the chat riding the Yinzers, riding Mackey. He's excited. So Mackey, let the people know. Mackey, he's excited to see you. I think you might take a screenshot.
Yeah, hot time to come in. Saying the 11-win Steelers are one of the worst teams in the league.
I just had to get the people going. I said Steelers win today.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are talking about that game, but I do.
I was just going to say the only two games we talked about were Steelers, Browns, and then Ace was just wrapping up Falcons, Vikings. If you want to go on those two.
Oh, already said it on the pod.
Yinzer Mackey, here he is. Yinzer Mackey. Let's see. Your team's down and out. Let's see it here. That's a tough bandwagon to get on. First round bye. Mackey coming in hot. I'm gonna put him on the spot. First round bye. If you see the Steelers in the playoffs and you're riding with them, but I guess they're used to that as a Cowboys fan. Let me hear your take.
Listen, I don't love the Steelers today, but let me get into that Falcons game. I do love the Falcons plus the points here. Vikings like to win games, don't like to cover spreads. Falcons, great buy low spot here. You're getting a lot of points from them. I think it's 5.5 now. So
6.
I think Kirk Cousins all the way up to 6. It's even better.
Yeah.
I think Kirk Cousins could have a good game, at least keep it close. You could see 2 touchdowns out of Bijan Robinson on the ground today. And that's one of my favorite plays of the day is plus 6 there. The Falcons.
Yeah, Mackie, we were talking about this earlier. Some of the chat was saying it too. I think the Falcons plus 6 is a very sharp play, but I think you're in agreement that we do like the Vikings on the money line today to get the job done and Kirk Cousins' return to Minnesota.
Yeah, I think it's safe, but obviously it's not going to be one of my plays. But they do seem to get the job done week in and week out. They got a 1-point win last week. They got a 3-point win the week before. So yeah, they get the job done at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And a couple other chats here coming in, asking if that's a Deontay Johnson Ravens jersey. No, it is not.
No, it's not.
Here's a question for you, chat. Would a Deontay Johnson jersey be better than a Justin Tucker jersey? Because you want to talk about washed up players.
Who is that, Haas?
It's Roquan Smith. I got it early.
I think Deontay Johnson would be Steez.
It is not Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, you're just going to drop everything thrown at you. We don't need Haas dropping the ball on the live stream. But we got another question in the chat here. D-Hop or Chubb at the flex? Yes, Chubb found the end zone twice last time he played the Steelers. But I don't think he does this time. I think it's going to be a tougher day sledding. They're definitely going to look to key in on him. And he splits with Jerome Ford, which I don't like. D-Hop's not my favorite play either. Shia, let me know who else you got in your options. I like other options there. D-Hop with a tough matchup against those Chargers. A couple other ones going here. Mike Evans touchdown. I really do love that. I like his yardage a bit more. As we were talking about, Mackie, he needs just under 500 yards to get to the 1,000-yard mark on the season. So they're going to look to feed him. Probably will find a touchdown as well against one of the weakest defenses in the NFL. And I think we're all in agreement. The Westbrook-Akine touchdown play is not a bad one. I could see that hitting.
I'm the Mike Evans killer. When I take him, he doesn't score. When I don't take it, when you guys both take him, he scores.
So you're off him today, and he gets in, right?
I'll do one for the people and not bet it today.
And he gets in the end zone. I like that too, and I think the Bucs do roll. Hoff's thinking that Shady could keep it close. Anthony Rogers said he thinks the Panthers could low-key make things interesting. It feels like a trap game, hammer the spread. I do like the big number for the Panthers. I like it even more if you tease it down.
Is it a similar game? Do you think it's a copycat game of what we saw last week with Oakland versus
I really don't. I'm not going to bet this spread. I understand that the spread is very high and it's a potential one to hit.
I think
But-
the over hits personally 45 in that game, so I think
Yeah,
that tells me the Eagles are going to score too much for the Panthers to hang around.
And I think of both those teams last week, the Panthers were charged up, the Raiders were charged up to play the Chiefs. I don't think it's the same scenario here, and we've been high on these Eagles. You see them in our top 5 on the power rankings. So I think they continue firing all cylinders. Saquon Barkley, massive masterclass incoming, take his total yardage and the anytime touchdown as he looks to continue to push for the MVP.
I think it's like 113.5.
Yeah, and I like that.
5th highest in history, I think.
What is it?
Do you like it though?
It's like 113.5. I mean, I'm
Who's
not
that
going to
for,
say I don't
Barkley?
like it. It's not a line
Oh,
that
yeah.
not necessarily pops out to me that I'm going to take, but it's just, I mean, it just shows how much he's been eating this year, especially recently.
Yeah, Ben Moreau saying the Falcons cover, if not pull out the win. Wouldn't be surprised if they cover. I don't like them to get the win done today. Mac, I'll pass this one to you. You didn't have any chat experience yet this morning, so we're going to go Garrett Wilson or Brian Thomas Jr., 2 very strong options. Which one are you picking this week for Rick Jr.?
I think Garrett Wilson's been playing a lot better with the addition of Devontae Adams, but Jets are kind of dead in the water. I'd probably still go Garrett Wilson, though.
That Tennessee Titans pass defense is an open funnel, though, and I think Brian Thomas Jr. continues to have a strong day as they force feed him the ball.
Mac Jones throwing him the football.
They force feed him the ball. We saw him have successful weeks even with Mac Jones. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is on a collision course to be a top 3 potential rookie receiver this season. I know he's got the likes of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors to compete with behind Bowers and McConkey, but I think he continues to have a strong day, and there's a lot of points in that Titans-Jaguars game to be had. Thanks for the follows today from everybody. Definitely give us some follows, give us some donations. If you give us a donation here, 100 plus, we'll give you an automatic anytime touchdown lock of the week. But if not, stick around for those. Gus Edwards or Braylon Allen for sure. We're not firing up Gus Edwards. I think he ends up losing the job to Vidal. Bengals or Cowboys. That's going to be a great game. I'm going to go with the Cowboys there personally. I think I'm the only one on our podcast who thinks that, but I like points there. MVS TD is a good lock as well today. Yeah, every time he's out there, you guys notice that MVS long touchdown play reminds me of Rashid Shaheed with Derek Carr down there in New Orleans. A couple more questions here before we get to our next game. Vikings top 3 run defense. I think so too, but Bijan's undeniable. He's a great running back. Gets force-fed the ball through the air and on the ground.
The only person that can stop Bijan Robinson is the Falcons coaching staff.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But regardless, they're going to force feed him the ball. Good picks here by Sam. Saying James Cook, love that one. T. Higgins, that's kind of a sketchy one, but he should be able to get in against that secondary for the Cowboys. Jonnu Smith, he's been on fire, and Brock Bowers. I like all those. It's not a bad take there. I would say Jamar Chase or Chase Brown over T. Higgins, but to each their own there. Dude bet $3 million on the Eagles. Yeah, the guy who bet $3 million on the Eagles is actually Michael Mackey, who just jumped into the chat. That's why he jumped in late. He's doubling down, and he's up to $6.2 million on the Eagles money line this week. Threw away all of his Cowboys gear, traded in for that Kelly Green, so he's all in on them this week. But yeah, Mike Evans TD, we do like that. Aaron, Jonnu and Njoku, that's a tough one there. Huff, answer this one for us before we get to our next one though. Bijan or Etienne though for a flex, very tough spot. I don't know how you have Etienne or Bijan in your flex. That's craziness to me.
Yeah, who are your running backs?
Steven Brooks. The 4-team leagues must be going crazy this week if they're in the flex spot. I mean, Bijan's RB1, 2.
I mean, you have to have Saquon and somebody else to even consider those guys as flexes.
He's got Saquon, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams ahead.
Jonathan Taylor on the bench.
Josh Jacobs too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jacobs.
This is a good one for you. Jonnu Smith's been eating lately with Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel's offense. It's really tough for me to sit him. And Njoku's been very strong with Jameis under center.
That's
Who'd you go with there?
That's a tough option. I think I'd stick with the hot hand and Jonnu. Obviously,
PPR stud.
Njoku's been obviously very consistent. He always plays very good against the Steelers. I am worried about that matchup today for the Steelers, obviously with Njoku, but the receptions that Jonnu Smith is getting from Tua, like you can't, if you're in a PPR league, you can't sit him.
Yeah, I agree.
What did he have last week? 10 receptions for 100 yards?
And he found the end zone.
Like that's wide receiver numbers, and you're getting that from a tight end that didn't get drafted in the fantasy drafts. Like
everybody that's complaining about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle this year, your targets are going to Jonnu Smith. Let's fire him up here this week. Very tough to sit in a
security blanket. Like I always say, the tight ends. When you have a good tight end, your offense goes.
For you, Hunter. Maybe start one of them in the flex. I know it's tough to start the tight end in the flex. I do it with Kelsey and Otten this week, so it's maybe not a bad thing. Guaranteed 2 picks. We'll get to our emergency locks, our definite locks later on. Give us a donation if you want those automatic locks right away, though. Let us know. We will always shout them out early for a quick little donation or follow.
Let's
Mooney
get
or
into
Marvin
this
Harrison
next
is
game.
Marvin Harrison is the week. Tracy and Devontae Smith. Love Devontae Smith in that flex, but Tracy's a good start too. Huff, get us to our next game. Chat. We'll get back to your questions after this.
Absolutely. Speaking of Marvin Harrison, the Seahawks are heading to Arizona to take on Marvin Harrison and the Cardinals. Cardinals are minus 145 on the money line. Seahawks plus 120, over under 44.5. Cardinals minus 2.5 is the spread. I'm on Arizona here. I think they make a serious push for that division. Ace, me and you were on them before the season saying they could be a pesky team, a wild card team. How about a division winner and get a home playoff game?
Potential.
I think obviously my original pick for this division was the Rams. Rams have a very tough matchup, same record as the Cardinals, but a very tough matchup today, hosting the Bills. A sketchy, only 3.5-point spread for LA today. I'm hoping the Rams can squeak out a win in that one. But I do think the Cardinals handle business at home. They just lost to the Seahawks team 2 weeks ago. Very similar situation to what the Browns and Steelers went through 2 weeks ago. Played 2 weeks ago. You could play someone in the gap week, and then you're right back to playing a divisional game. I think in these situations, obviously, both home teams, Cardinals and Steelers, lost 2 weeks ago. I think they both win today. Give me the Cardinals minus 2.5. I love this play. I really like this play.
Mackie, jump in on this game out. NFC West, big game for the division.
Yeah, not one of my favorite plays, but I do lean on the Seahawks here. Very close division. They're going to need this one if they want to gain some ground on that lead that they have right there. Like Huff said, they played 2 weeks ago, 16-6 game. I expect another low scoring game. Both these offenses seem to be slow to start, especially in divisional matchups. I don't know, not my favorite play here, but
you like the Seahawks?
yeah, what's wrong with that?
I'm just
They're
surprised.
gonna lose. That's what's
You know
wrong
how
with
I feel about those Cardinals. I'm
I
not a big Kyler Murray guy, not a big Cardinals guy. I think
You
they're
like the
already
Rams?
overachieving
You like
at
the Rams and
6-6.
Niners in that division?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the Seahawks actually. I like the Seahawks and Niners, if anything, but I'm obviously not high in the Niners this year. I think the Seahawks win this division. I think they need this win to win this division. And honestly, I just don't think the Cardinals are good enough to compete for this division.
I will say if Seattle wins this game, it's looking like it's their division to lose.
Which is why I think they kind. It's why I think they win it.
But today they are going to lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Hoss, let me give my take here before I let you jump in. And also Dylan, you're asking Mooney or Marvin Harrison. I'm going Marvin Harrison any day of the week there. It's crazy. In our chat right now, we have Kyler. Is that Kyler Murray saying that he likes Seahawks money line? He thinks they're going to feast today. He thinks that the Rams lose today, the Cardinals lose today, and the Seahawks win the division this early on. I mean, I don't know what they're putting in the Kool-Aid up there in Seattle, but I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid today. I think the Cardinals get the job done. K1 balling out in a Call of Duty season, which is crazy to see. He's out there grinding camos for his guns, and he's also playing well on the field. Little K1 running around, top 10 baseball pick as well. He's going to need some help from former Pittsburgh Steeler James Conner. He's going to have to step up. Trey McBride looking like one of the best tight ends in the league. And then he's Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson on the outside. Let's keep that going. I think Kyler Murray continues to have a strong one. It's going to be a close game, going to be a sweaty one, going to have to keep it going. But I like Kyler Murray and Co to keep it done today. Let's take a minus 2.5. Let's take the over. Let's take a Marvin Harrison touchdown and Kyler Murray to throw over 1.5. Hoss, let me know what you think about the Seahawks game. No Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet leading the way with DK Metcalf, JSN, and Tyler Lockett. What are you thinking about Geno Smith? You writing them off or no?
Definitely not writing him off. I mean, obviously, I think Mackey's West Virginia bias was showing a little bit there in that Seahawks pick with Geno Smith at the helm. I love him to death, obviously, and I really like what that Seahawks team's been building over there. But got to go with the Cardinals today. I really love Kyler Murray. I love all the weapons they have there in Arizona. Obviously, without Kenneth Walker, it's going to be a tough day sledding for that run game in Seattle. But definitely against one of the weaker run defenses in the league. I still think Charbonnet has a pretty decent day. But you guys mentioned it a few different times. But Trey McBride, my favorite guy, tight end. One of my favorite guys at tight end anyway. Definitely going to have a big week. Strange to see that he's a top 3 tight end yet to catch a touchdown this year. How crazy is that? I mean, a lot of people, I think that goes very unnoticed, but obviously
he gets all the receptions. He just never gets in.
It was like 10 plus, 100 plus.
He has like 80 plus in the season.
Yeah, that's
love that take, Jimmy. Love that take.
Puts up an average of 11 points a week, but does not find the end zone. It's kind of a crazy stat, but hopefully he does today. Alex, you said 1.5 touchdowns for Kyler Murray. It'd be nice to see him find one of those as well. Definitely give me the Cardinals minus 2.5, and hopefully a Trey McBride touchdown to cap it off.
No,
good one.
No Kenneth Walker either. I would fire up Zach Charbonnet in fantasy. You've seen when Kenneth Walker is out, he eats, and even when he's in, he gets those end zone or red zone.
I was going to say,
so.
Mackie, is Kenneth Walker, if he was healthy in this game, is he on your no bet list now going forward?
Yeah, I mean, they've been taking too many snaps away from him in the red zone, and dude, like they're on like 3-yard line. You're giving it to Zach Charbonnet. I don't really
I
understand
like
it there.
Walker. I think
Especially
he's
against
like the
Walker's a power
back.
back too. I don't understand why you wouldn't give it to him inside the 5-yard line, but they like to
Seahawks
use
sneaky.
They
Seahawks
Charbonnet.
all took
sneaky have a good
Charbonnet on the
offensive
money
line
line.
too.
They all took Charbonnet on the money line to get in the end zone.
Well, there's no Kenneth Walker this week, so I would fire up Zach Charbonnet in your fantasy leagues if you need him. I picked him up in one of my leagues to start him, so could be a
He
good
could be a
option.
starter anywhere else too. Like he could go
Yeah, he's
somewhere else
good.
and start.
He's
He's
good.
actually a really good running
He's
back.
going to continue to be strong. I think he's a great play this week. Hopefully, you guys were able to pick him up on your waiver wire or stash him behind Kenneth Walker and fire him up in your league. Huff, a lot of questions coming in the chat here. Aaron Jones or Cooper? I believe that's Amari Cooper. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones still. I think
For
Amari
sure.
Cooper, but Amari Cooper does have a big day against a really, really weak Rams defense.
Isn't
Take
enough
the
targets.
security blanket with Jones. Jones guarantee scores a touchdown. I
Guaranteed
think.
touches too, and Kincaid and Coleman are allegedly back in the mix. Some other people ask Elijah Moore or Wan'Dale Robinson in the flex. Let's go Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wandale.
I think he bounces back. Elijah Moore's going up against that tough secondary. I know he had a big 100-yard game last week, but I don't expect that again. Start at flex. Jennings or Nick Westbrook-Akini. Westbrook-Akini keeps finding the end zone. Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb. We're going to go Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt, we can't fire him up. Pacheco back in the mix. Rams lose today. Yep, we already read that one. Metcalf or
Ace,
Addison.
I'll be right back while you go through this chat.
Yeah, definitely. Metcalf or Addison. Metcalf or Addison. Who are you rolling with there?
Jordan Addison's been getting a shit ton of looks, kind of taken away from Justin Jefferson there. I'd probably go Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I think I would too. Haas, big Jordan Addison guy. Haas, definitely tune into that chat. He usually responds to some of us for it. Yeah, in there. We got a lot popping in. Connor Garendo. Crazy to say I'm going to Garendo. I'm a big James Conner guy. I think he has a big game and a high scoring output, but Garendo is going to find the end zone as the lead back in a run first scheme that Kyle Shanahan loves in a must win game for the Niners this week. Bears with the points is the easiest bet on the board. Josh, I'm actually going the other way. I'm going Niners with the points. I know that they're banged up, but this is a must-win spot. I think that NFC West tightens up. I predict the Rams and
I like the
Seahawks
Bears.
with the Cardinals and Niners win. Mackey on the Bears. I know he's not going to put it on his card though because that he doesn't have enough faith in him, and that goes
Nope,
to tell me
screwed.
that and the fact that we are not seeing it on his card goes to tell me let's ride with those Niners. Yeah, Gus Edwards. I'm sitting him any chance I can, chat. I'm not big on Gus Edwards. I think he has a very tough day sledding on Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to see Vidal tune in a bit more. Haskins, he gets a few looks too. Cardinals on the money line, love that. Braylon, Charbonnet, or Devontae at the flex. Let's go Braylon there. Charbonnet's a really good play too. D-Hop or Braylon Allen. We're going to go Braylon Allen again. I'm going Niners over Bears, but Mackie likes the Bears here. Zarbane TD. I'm not betting that one personally, but let me know the odds you got on that one. Flex, Devontae Adams, Lad McConkey, or Jordan Addison. As long as Lad McConkey's playing, let's fire him up. I think he has a big Sunday Night Football output. He's always questionable, always has that Q tag, but he always ends up playing. Will Disley over on the receiving yards. Love that there. He's toning up. Who is Jones? That's going to be Aaron Jones we're talking about there. Cheers and good luck on your bets. Sam, thanks for tuning in. Skull. A lot of skulls in the chat here. Dolphins, Vikings, Steelers, Bucks money line. I like that parlay. Dolphins I might remove though. Jets are a bad team. I know they lose games, but
What
hey,
a game for the Jets to win.
Mackie, here's a good one for you. Sydney Sweeney TDs. How many is she getting today? At least 2, right?
Two.
Yeah, 2 sounds like a good number for her.
Always 2.
Yeah, which wide receiver should I start? Judy, Ridley, or Metcalf? Ridley, big revenge game going into Jacksonville. Very tough defense there. Giants and Jets win today. Definitely not. I think those two teams should both
Definitely not.
lose. Kamara, Metcalf, and a Duns. Anytime TD, 100 to pay 870. I'd put maybe $10 on that because Romo Dunze doesn't find the end zone too much. Just Cherry Benson score. He's been getting touches lately. Odds going crazy right now. I agree. His touches were up coming into the bye, but coming out of the bye, they've actually been kind of down. And they're in a must-win territory, and they like to spread the ball a bit more. I'm not taking him on the anytime touchdown. I know his odds are good, but don't fall into that trap. Addison or Devontae Adams. We're going to go Addison there. Braylon Allen or Marvin Harrison Jr. The slumpy man asked us that one. Mac, you got to take on that one. Those are 2 good plays this week, I think.
I'm not high on Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know. I'd probably go Braylon Allen there, but I think you can probably find a better option.
Without Breece Hall, though, Braylon Allen should see a lot of workload against that Dolphins defense. Hopkins or Moore in the flex. Is that Elijah Moore, I believe? Let's go Hopkins. It's the one time I'm going to give you to him. Chase TD, does Jamar Chase or Chase Brown? I think they both get in, so I like that. I doubt Lad plays. He's got an AC and shoulder injury. Yes, but he's been banged up the last few weeks. He's been logging limited. I think he does get fired up this week. Watch that. And if you need a plug and play to back him up, I think Josh Palmer is always a good one and usually is hanging around on that waiver wire. So wait it out. It's worth it. If Vlad does go, we know how good he is. Chase TD, Bengals money line. Yeah, not a bad pick. I like the Chase TD more than the Bengals money line. Allen or Garrett Wilson the flex. Definitely Garrett Wilson. I don't know how he's even a flex consideration. A lot of other stuff coming in the chat here.
I like Braylon Allen this week. I'm surprised you guys aren't as high on him as I am. But
No, I do like him this week. I do, but there's other options people are giving that.
You've never seen him get all the load either.
Yeah, but I think he can handle it. Like
we got Tom and Nicholas Weimer asking about DeAndre Swift. I'm gonna actually bench DeAndre Swift. Him and Roshan Johnson banged up, not really practicing all week. A lot of injury designations going up against the Niners. I'm seeing a lot of Travis Homer as a pickup, as they think he gets a lot of the workload, at least the third down work. Let's go with Valdez Scantling over him, as he has that big play touchdown ability, and let's definitely go Charbonnet over Swift. I think that's an automatic. Start 2, please, from Exotic Tacos. Exotic Tacos, what kind of tacos are you cooking up there? Maybe some carnitas ones. Those are my favorite. Start 2, please, though. Kyler, AOC. I think she's in the government. Neighbors or Sincere McCormick. I'm going to go Malik Neighbors and Kyler Murray. I mean, that's kind of automatic. Sincere McCormick, though, you guys have any takes on him? Me and Huff were talking about before the cast. He might cut into that Amir Abdul workload for those of you looking for a plug and play on the bye week.
They just signed him off the practice squad. Like, why is everybody?
No, he's been playing the past 2 weeks, and his touch count keeps improving. He rushed for over 60 yards and 12 carries as a backup against the Chiefs last week. He went 5 for 33 the week before, and Antonio Pierce vows to get him more touches week in and week out.
I'll pick him up. So, would you pick him up over Gus Edwards?
I would start him over Gus Edwards, yes. I would go with a duel over both of them, but I'm not high on Gus Edwards at all. Mallory, thoughts on Jacoby Myers this week? I think he's going to see a lot of targets. They're going to be trailing for most of the game with that strong Bucs offense led by Baker Mayfield. So look for him to be a PPR stud. Him and Brock Bowers really get the job done. Haas hit well on them on the Black Friday game. Both of them hitting the yardage prop overs. Disley or Ferguson? Mackie, we answered some questions about Ferguson earlier. You're our Cowboys correspondent. What do you think about Jake Ferguson getting entrenched back into the office? First game back in a high-scoring shootout between 2 weak defenses.
Yeah, he doesn't have his guy Dak throwing him the football, so it might be a little different than what we usually see. But I think it's a safe option. He gets his targets. Cooper Rush is going to have to dump it off to him a few more times than he's going to want to. So, he's going to get his PPR points.
Yeah. Alex, what do you think? Alex, what would you say? DeAndre Swift or Sincere McCormick?
I'm going to go Sincere McCormick, though. I don't like the DeAndre Swift.
Come on.
I don't like the DeAndre
crazy.
Swift.
Bears hater, man.
No, the injury designation is scaring me. The injury report for this Bears team is scaring me. Him and Roshan Johnson, both very banged up heading into this week. I just think that Travis Homer is going to see more touches than I would like, and that scare me away from Swift.
Did you guys go into any other games, or have you just been diving into the chat?
Diving in the chat. Chat's been popping off. People are saying starting Kyler over Aiden O'Connell. Then definitely starting Kyler over Aiden O'Connell this week.
Yeah, you can't start Aiden O'Connell.
DK, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Keenan Allen. Which two? Go Marvin Harrison Jr. and DK Metcalf. It's a tough one.
You gotta say
Huff, last one here. Family, thank you, Exotic Tacos. Thanks for tuning in. Love to see that. Incoming 10K likes. That's the boy right there. Thielen, Addison are worthy. I'm going to go with I kind of like Adam Thielen. Call me crazy. I kind of like Adam Thielen. That connection.
If they want to hang in that game, Bryce is going to need his security blanket, and that's who it is Adam Thielen.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Huff, get us into this next game here.
Yeah, Bills at Rams. Rams 3.5-point home underdog. Over under 49.5. Rams plus 155 on the money line at home. Bills are minus 190 on the road. Bills obviously coming off the big Sunday Night Football performance in the snow against the 49ers. Rams obviously at home here. Which way do you guys like on this one? Mackie, you want to start us out here, and then you can kick it back to me?
Yeah, definitely not my favorite game. Screams trap all over it. I think you're going to see a lot of money on the Bills here. They're on a 7-game win streak, obviously riding high off that huge snow game win last week. But you got to go across the country now. Different team than what the teams you've been seeing. Going to go up against the NFC opponent. I kind of like the Rams here plus 3.5 points. It's going to be really, really hard to get stops against that Josh Allen offense, especially because the Rams defense is pretty mid, if anything. But I like Matthew Stafford and all of his weapons to keep the game close at least, and score the ball as well. So maybe a few Josh Allen turnovers, vintage Josh Allen, but I think the Rams cover here the 3.5 points.
I would do anything for a Rams win today and a Steelers win to get us both at 10-3. I do as far as a gambling pick though. I do. What'd you say?
The Rams are not beating the Buffalo Bills.
Dude, Mackie said it's
crazy things have happened.
Not a letdown spot,
it's
Mackie?
Not
I think this is like Bills are riding an all-time high.
This Buffalo Bills team is one of the best teams in the league with the MVP favorite, the worst defense.
That's the first time he's ever said that. He's never called Josh Allen the MVP favorite.
Is he not now after that snow game last
Yeah,
week?
but
Diving
you
into the end zone.
past couple weeks you were like Lamar Barkley. I'm like, have you
Yeah,
heard a
but
guy
he
number
just
17
went
in
and
Buffalo?
proved it. He proved it to me last week at home in the snow game, and now he's going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua.
And
They
then
can go as nuclear as they want, but that Rams defense is brutal.
It's true.
I just have to say, honestly, I just can't wait for Lamar Jackson to come back after the bye and show everybody who the real MVP is.
Oh
because
my God.
all this talk is just ridiculous.
they've been
Lamar
waiting,
Jackson-
just so you know,
Lamar
Haas, they've been
Jackson-
waiting for 3 years to give Allen an MVP, and he's
it's
just
this year.
always the second guy, and this is the first year he's the front runner. Lamar would have to do crazy numbers for Allen.
He
to
does
not
have
win this
crazy
MVP.
numbers.
He's going to. He's going to. He's play. You get the Giants off the
This
bye.
guy.
Him and Derrick Henry are going to go nuclear.
Look at the room he's in. You're not getting him
Yeah,
sold. on Josh
the
Allen.
credibility's gone looking at the room that he's in.
I don't care about the credibility. I'm just trying to tell people what they need to know. Stop trying to write off Lamar Jackson just because he's been playing pretty well in those games too. I mean, obviously some pretty tough drops by Nelson Aguilar. I don't need to get into the defensive rant, but I'm just going to say
Sound like a
for
Philly
everybody
fan.
that's trying to crown somebody else, Lamar Jackson.
Plus, I will say this though: one thing that really puts a pin into that balloon of Lamar Jackson MVP would be the Las Vegas
a
Raiders
lie.
and Antonio Pierce, because that's a team that took them down in the bank. That's supposed to be one of the toughest places to play. Give me Josh Allen, front runner MVP today, to blow out the
my
Los
God.
Angeles Rams on the West Coast. It's going to be a 20+ point victory. I'm saying 35-13. Bills this week. The injured, banged up Matt Stafford isn't going to be able to get things going. That number one pass defense for the Buffalo Bills is going to be stout against those top receivers. Yeah, maybe Kyron gets in the end zone. Yeah, Puka and Kupp get their reception props, but the Bills are going to have a big one. James Cook in the end zone, automatic lock.
I like
Bills
that.
win.
I do like that.
Allen
Explain a 3.5 point spread here, then, Ace.
I don't know. They're getting people like you to buy and say, well, maybe the Rams can hang around, and they're taking your free money there. 'Cause
Oh,
if
I'm not
the spread
taking it.
was 10.5, I'd
I'm
take
not
the Bills
taking it.
this
Yeah,
week.
I was. That's so funny. You just said that. I was gonna say with that score prediction, would you take -10 plus 220?
I would, because I think they roll them this week.
I
The
want to see it
Buffalo
on
Bills
card, Ace. I
continue
want to
their
see it on
statement.
card.
No need to. You're going to see the regular spread on the card because that's automatic. That's unlimited, as they say.
I think it'd be better.
Make
You
a
could put a half unit on the -10 and win more than you would on the normal spread.
I don't need to. I'm just going to hammer that -3.5. That's a big boom on the card this week.
Can we see a
Huff,
2-unit play from Ace?
No need to. We're hitting that. We're going to continue to get back to that positive realm. Mackie, you and I competing going down the stretch to see who ends up higher in that plus range. I know we're both going to get there. We're both going to be there. Make sure you guys tune along. Go follow us on Instagram, hitthebucks.pod. You can see all of our plays posted every single time. Go give us a follow right now. We're going to post all of our plays today before 11:30, and you'll see everything posted there. But I think this Bills game is going to be crazy. Anybody in the chat backing these Rams, or is it just Mackie and Huff that think they can cover the spread? I would like to
Sharp
see it.
money. Sharp money.
I haven't
I
heard
love
Huss
the
give a
Bills.
take. Huss,
Love
did you give
the
your
Bills
take on
the
this game
money
yet?
line.
Not even, honestly. I was waiting to get to it. And after this huge conversation we had, I hate to say that I'm on the Bills today, but I definitely am. I mean, I agree with Alex on a lot of things that he says. This Bills offense is really good. And I think the Rams secondary is decent. Obviously, the tough thing is they run a lot of cover three. But they run a lot of cover three, and obviously, I don't think that's going to be enough to
McVay though is one of those coaches that he wills his team to win. Like he's like there's certain coaches that
Not this week.
No,
not this week.
And honestly, just
4 o'clock game in
Ace,
LA.
Huff, Huff, there's no convincing.
I know.
no
I don't have
convincing.
to. I don't have
It's
to.
Bills.
convince
This is already on the card. The Buffalo Bills are on the card. Josh Allen will score. James Cook will score. Dalton
No.
Kincaid and Keon Coleman, they don't even need to play because Dawson Knox is ready to go. Amari Cooper. Matt Collins. Shady Matt Collins touchdown. Most jacked guy on the field. Sean McVay going to look like one of those cheerleaders out there on the sideline. I think you guys have seen that meme. Weak Rams team. Hoss, let me hear you.
You know who I think is going nuclear today? And honestly, this was my really big point against the coverage of cover 3, cover 6 that the Rams like to show out. I actually really like Khalil Shakir today.
Chain mover.
He's having a really big game today against the Rams. So I think it's going to be a good one for him to kind of make a name for himself in that Bills passing attack. I actually really like Josh Allen, aside from all the comments about him being the undisputed hit the books MVP from Allen.
Undisputed, reigning, and still.
From the first time all year. But I actually really think that it's going to be a good game for him and the Bills. But it'd be nice to see him lose. It'd be great to see everybody kind of get back in the good graces of Lamar Jackson. But I don't think it's going to happen today.
Haas, give him some good energy. Come on, Steelers need a win. Bills need a loss. That would help your Ravens too.
Browns
Chiefs
on
need
the
to
money
succeed.
line.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't understand how.
What
it
is this
happened.
for? You want to get that? You want to get a 2 seed?
Yeah, I want the 2 seed.
Mackie,
Yeah,
does it
that'd be
even
funny.
matter what seed they get?
I don't
It's
want
the
to have to go
first
to
round
Buffalo.
bye.
I told you.
It
I
doesn't-
don't
it
want to go.
doesn't
I do
matter.
not want the Steelers to have to go to Buffalo.
The
You're
first
in the
round
second
bye.
round already, Huff.
Yeah,
I
settle
know.
down there. Pittsburgh Cowboys up there. First round exit coming in.
All right, we'll see.
The Pittsburgh
Damn, you went at
Cowboys.
both of us there.
I know. Jeez, double whammy.
The home field
My
advantage.
Ace, my team has success in our lifetime. You can't put that in that category.
Oh, okay.
You
now
want
we're
to talk
singling-
about
now
success
we're
in a
singling me
lifetime? You
out.
open the door.
Now
6
we're ju-
rings in my lifetime. Come on now. Come on. You don't want to open
Kid's
that
gonna live in
door.
the past because he knows his team's dog shit right
Mackie,
now.
we can go all the way back
Yeah,
to
we're
before
not
you were
talking
born
about the
in those
Cowboys.
rounds.
We're not
Yeah.
talking about the Cowboys.
Mackie's like the Cowboys don't play today. I don't want to
Hey,
fucking
you
hear
know
it.
what's crazy? The only person on this podcast who thinks the Cowboys can turn around and potentially push for the playoffs are me.
You.
I'm riding with Micah Parsons. I think they're going to get the job
You're
done this
riding with
week.
Cooper Rush as well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, how about them Bruins,
Mackie, I
Sam?
wanted to ask
They
you,
haven't
why
lost
do
a
they
game
not-
this month. The Pittsburgh Penguins, you want
This
to
is a
talk about a
football live
dumpster
stream.
fire? That's
is
a
a
dumpster
football
fire
live
of a
stream.
team.
I
You
know. Yeah. What are we
mentioned-
talking about?
I'm off a 4-game
It's
win
like,
streak.
it's
I
like
don't
the
know.
debate. It's like the debate. You mentioned the Bruins. I have to rebuttal real quick. On a heater, Joe Sacco, shut him out. Let's go back to the chat real quick, though, before we get to
You
our
want to
next
talk about
game.
a first round exit? Bring up your Bruins again.
Huff. Go back to the fucking dinosaur exhibit. Take your guys, drop them
You
off.
want to talk lifetime? 3 cups in my lifetime. I don't know what you've
all right,
seen.
over a decade
You guys
ago.
are throwing it back. You guys are like 13 years old talking about these cups.
All right, settle down there, New York Rangers. Maybe 50 years ago, you guys would be talked about.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I bet you did. At least Igor got his bag. All right, chat here. Chat's been rolling. A lot of fantasy questions here. Gonna bang them out real quick and get to our next game. DJ Moore, DK. DK has never reached 60-plus yards on Arizona. Love that, Drew Robertson. Thanks for tuning in. Love that stat, too. Think Chicago will have to throw. I think they will, too. And I'm going to go with DJ Moore here today. Herbert or Winston? Good question because Winston's always chucking the ball. Let's go Justin Herbert, though. On Sunday Night Football, I like to fire him up. Hoss Andrew with the hockey stick, so it's another hockey shot out there, is saying that Lamar is not getting the MVP. I mean,
I know. He's mad too.
he could have
He
zero
also-
interceptions. He could have 0 interceptions, but I do think Allen's the front runner right now, and that record's going to loom large. I like the Bills on the money line. Christian Abernathy, great name right there. Yeah, I like the Bills on the money line for sure. Saints or Giants? Saints 100%. Giants are playing for a pick. That's why they're not. That's why they got rid of Daniel Jones.
These are the kind of games Giants win though when they fuck up their own pick.
Yeah, and the Saints aren't a good team either. So
I'm
not-
on the Saints as well, but I'm just giving you a spin zone on
And
that.
you're not super confident on either one though, right?
No, I will not put my money on either of those teams.
Yeah, here we go. Saints, Tampa Bay, Eagles, Falcons, and Kirk over his yards. Like all that though, I honestly do.
I have a
Falcons-
separate question outside of the chat. Would you guys start Keenan Allen or Nick Akine?
Akine.
Touchdown
Who
dependent.
was
but
the first one, Mackie?
I'm going
Keenan
Nick
Allen.
Westbrook, Keenan.
Yeah, go Akine. He's been hot.
Because
Ride
there's
the
going
hot
to be
hand.
a lot of points. I love the over in Tennessee.
That was a great ad.
Tennessee,
Actually, that was
Jacksonville. I
good.
love the over. I think Will Levis is going to chuck. We don't know what team it's going to, but it's going to one of them. Hopefully, they go down 21-0 again, so he has to keep the ball in the air, and then they come back and win.
How
Pacheco
long
or-
ago did you pick him up, Mackie?
Say again?
How long ago did you pick him up?
No, I'm getting an outside text from Mr. Chunkrat over here, so he's asking everyone. So figure out
Yeah,
ask
tell
you
him.
guys.
Shout out to
Westbrook
Trump Rat.
Akine for the man.
He's like, oh, do I go with Akine or?
I'm gonna fire up Tom Wilson. 2 goals last night. Steelers are like the New Jersey Devils. Somebody said, Huff. Wow, wow. You don't like.
I haven't
to
seen
hear
it.
that
I
comparison.
haven't seen the Devils do much in the past couple.
Shout
years.
out to Hoss. Crucial saying, shout out to my guy. We hear Baltimore in the chat. with
Let's
the
go.
flag.
Where is he?
Oh,
My
yeah, that's
dog.
Crucial up top. He's got the emoji too. Sam just going on spewing about things that don't even make sense, but I love to see it. What you think is going to happen today to
What's
the
he
Cowboys?
saying? What's he saying? What's he saying?
He's talking about he's talking about the Boston Bruins because a big Boston guy. Jesse has some NCAA picks for us. I think you should be talking about Mackie and Huff's NCAA picks. Go over to our Instagram. They're on fire. I think they're on like 13.
Not in football. Fade the football picks.
Yeah,
Ride the
NCAA
basketball.
hockey picks. I think they're on a 13-2 run, something like that there. So definitely tune into the boys. What does your 2025 rookie ranks drop dynasty? Those will drop after the season, Kenny. So definitely tune in there. But we like to tune in every week. We record our podcast and we go over everything, including rookie performances. So tune in there. Saints or Miami for defense this week? That's a good question. I'm going to go with the Saints, though. I'm gonna go with the
I'm
Saints.
starting the Saints in one league, so I got to go with the Saints.
Yeah, Drew Lock, he plays sometimes pretty loose with that football. I like them there. We think the Chargers beat the Chiefs today. We're gonna get to that game very shortly, Anthony. We're gonna
Haas,
get to that
Ace, I
game.
don't want to cut you off. Haas, you remember a couple weeks ago, me and you were talking about how the week 14 buys, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm in a must-win game, and I had to pick up a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, and a defense.
What'd you do?
Russell, the Saints defense.
Russell
Let
from
me
up.
Yeah, Russell from up. I think he has a day today. I think he balls.
Russell from up.
Let me see who I ended up picking up. I know
Yeah,
Russell
who
was the
did you-
quarterback.
Who did you drop? too?
Alexander Madison, who's not even. I'm glad I just checked this because he's projected 0 points, so that's
Go
going to be
get
a
Amir.
switch.
Go get Amir.
All right, that is what I'm going to do.
Amir or Sincere? Sincere is scary.
And I picked up Brandon Cooks in case Ladd is
I did
out
too.
on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, it's good.
Who did you drop though?
Like no names, like the Commanders' defense that are on a bye,
Okay.
like stuff that I'm not going to have to
Stuff
worry
that you
about.
can live without.
Because I was in a tough spot this week myself, and I had to make a decision. Like, do I have to drop? Like, I didn't have enough moves to make in bye weeks to fill. So I'm not a big bye week guy when I'm in my drafts. I usually just take the best available. And
Yeah.
I was in a tough spot, and I was like, oh, do I have to I have to pick up a kicker and a defense? I ended up going with the kicker over the defense. It's just one of those weeks. Obviously, those late bye weeks just kill you.
Dude, this
Mac-
league that I'm in, the 1 and 2 seeds that are getting the bye are 11-2 and 9-4. There's 4 teams that are 7-6,
Yep.
2 that are
everybody is.
6-7, 1 that's 5-8, and 1 that's 3-10. There's only one
And-
guy that's eliminated from this league, and this week's the last week of the league.
That's awesome.
Oh, so you really got to have a good week.
I have to win. I have the points for. I'm 6-7, but I have the points for on all the 6 and 7 teams. So if I win, I should be the 6th seed in.
To be honest with you, I would go with Sincere over Abdullah because I think he can have a bigger day. Like just
You
based
didn't
on
even
the-
know who he was 20 minutes
No.
ago.
No. Just based on what you were saying earlier, like because I had Amir Abdullah, I was kind of high on that.
Oh,
earlier.
Braylon Allen's
Amir
available.
Abdullah.
I'm
If
doing
you're
Braylon
in a-
Allen.
If you,
Oh,
yeah,
what?
definitely,
Go get Braylon Allen.
definitely
What the
Braylon
hell?
Allen.
That's huge.
But
He
if
can
you
save
have
your
to
day.
choose between Amir Abdullah and Sincere McCormick, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with Amir Abdullah just because if I'm in a PPR league, I think he can stack up. He had 2 receptions last week. I know Sincere did as well, but the week before there was 6 to 8 receptions for Amir Abdullah, and that plays out pretty strong. In a game where I expect them to trail, look for Aiden O'Connell to check down to Amir Abdullah this week.
Yeah, but you honestly, it's funny you say that, Alex. But like I had Amir Abdullah and I planned to play him in our Yahoo league. And he
Haas,
he-
I remember who one of my drops.
Yeah, last week you're saying they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. Neither of them had big numbers. Look back 2 weeks when they played a normal rushing defense and Amir Abdullah popped off. Couple more questions in the chat here before we get back to our next game.
Wait. Before we get into that, Huff, who did you have to drop?
Fucking McCaffrey.
Oh, well,
yeah,
yeah,
that
I mean,
sucks.
that guy sucks.
Well, I mean, if you can get Braylon Allen in that slot, that's actually.
I just picked up Braylon Allen. That's why I now have Braylon Allen and Chase Brown at the running back, Ridley at the flex, McConkey and Nakua at receiver.
Oh, you're good. You're chilling.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a very-
projected
that's a very
107,
good
but I already had
week 14.
Laporta. I already had Laporta from Thursday. Ace, you took that touchdown. I wanted him to get in so fucking bad.
And
He only
showed.
ended with 7 point. I'm in a half. This league's a half point per reception,
PPR, yeah.
so that's 7.9 points.
Tough. Yeah, you could have used that.
I needed that touchdown.
Yeah. All right, couple more questions in the chat here. Mackie, someone named Slipknot is the best, says they are winning out the rest of the season, those Cowboys, and he thinks the Cowboys are going to get in the playoffs and lose to the Detroit Lions. That would be some cinema right there. Saints or Miami defense, we're going with that. Saints defense over Miami. Aaron
2 more,
Rodgers
and then
was-
let's hop into Sunday
was
night.
more of a threat. McConkey, Pickens, Judy as flex. Pick 1. Oof, let's go George Pickens. I feel like he's the safest play there. Lad McConkey, tough to sit, but with him not playing to Sunday Night Football on that Q tag, I'm going to keep him on the bench. One more question to chat. Darnell Mooney or Calvin Austin at the flex? That's a very good question. You must be up against the bye week this week, Ryan. I'm going to go with Calvin Austin. He found the end zone last time against these Browns, and I think he continues to have a good rapport with Russell Wilson. Huff, you said 2. Give me 3. I'm going to go with one more right here for the New York sports fan. Is that you, Mackie? No, it must not be because you're a Cowboys fan. Dowdle, Judy, Braylon, or Charbonnet? PPR, I'm going to go Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet he's a big workload and
Higher ceiling.
and has a big day. Huff, let's get into our next one.
Let's get into Sunday Night Football, AFC West. Justin Herbert and the Chargers heading to Kansas City to take on the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are laying 4 points at home, over under 43. Chiefs money line -200, Chargers +165. I love the Chargers +4 here. Chiefs can't cover a spread. I know I've been saying it with the big number. Obviously, they can't cover anything more than a touchdown. This one, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game or by 4 or more and cover this game, but it's going to be tight. I think the Chargers will be in it. Give me the Chargers +4. Ace, let me know which way you're going on this one.
Yeah, I think that the Chargers +4 is a very, very safe bet in the history that we've seen between Justin Herbert and the Kansas City Chiefs. I do like the Chiefs to win on the money line. They're going to conjure up some of that voodoo devil magic and get their job done. Look for Travis Kelce to have a big day through the year. Maybe he scores on Sunday Night Football. Taylor Swift will be in the crowd. Expect to see her on the screen. Isaiah Pacheco, I'd like him to get a little bit more work this week. They had that game last Friday, so he had some extra days off. He's going to be running hard. He looked hard there. I think he gets more carries, sitting Kareem Hunt in every league possible. DeAndre Hopkins will get his, but not too much worthy of a valid start. Maybe you put him in a flex, nothing crazy there.
Is Pacheco +100 anytime touchdown a lock?
I don't think it's a
No.
lock, but I think it's a strong bet.
Low scoring game. Two great defenses.
I think, Mackie, I think it's low scoring too. Like
Let me hear a score
21,
prediction from you guys.
21-17. That would be 4 exactly, but like we've
I'm
seen
going to say
crazier shit.
21-20.
27-24 Chiefs, I'm going with.
I'd take that.
I think it's a very similar game to what we saw Thursday night. Two divisional matchups, two really good teams, in my opinion. But I mean, we've seen it week in, week out. The Chiefs win football games. The Chargers like to blow football games. Obviously not this year so far, but Justin Herbert historically likes to blow
Coaching.
football games. Yeah, okay,
Outdoor game too with potential elements at Arrowhead. I think that the Chiefs get the job done at home. I would like to see how these Chargers fare in an outdoor environment. We haven't seen them in late winter games.
Last time these two teams played in LA, I believe it was week 1, 2, 3,
17 to
4.
10, I think it
week
was.
4, 17-10.
Yeah, you're going to see another low-scoring game. Both these defenses, basically
Strong.
the heart of their teams. I know Patrick Mahomes is on one side of the football, but that defense carries them.
I might go with the under on this one. I like the Chargers to cover. I might go with the under as well.
What do you guys think about this Chargers
tough.
team without J.K. Dobbins, though? Gus Edwards has looked really slow. We know how good the Chiefs' run defense is. Are we going to have to see a lot of Justin Herbert getting the wheels going on the ground, extending plays and moving? Are they going to be able to get productive offense, even if Ladd's out, too?
I want to preface that I only like the Chargers if McConkey plays.
It's a good take there. Without J.K. Dobbins, they need one of their explosive playmakers, and that's Ladd McConkey. Will Disley will be a
You
strong
don't think
play.
QJ can hold on to the football?
No, I don't. I think
No.
Josh Palmer is a
Guy
good
has
sneaky
fucking
play.
Dove soap for hands.
But he's actually he's going to play well if McConkey is out. I do think McConkey suits up there. He's a Q tag every week. Hoss, let us know what you think about this AFC West matchup. Two teams bound for the playoffs.
I'd love to see the Chargers win this game. I mean, I always love seeing the Chiefs lose, but it'd be nice to see the Chargers come away with a win here. But I really just don't know if it's going to be possible. I mean, like you said, they got a really stout run defense in Kansas City, but another one of these one-dimensional teams where it's like they rely a lot through the run game, and if you can't get it going, then it's going to be tough sledding for Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense. I mean, obviously they have a lot of great playmakers, especially like you said, Ladd McConkey with that Q tag, and I mean, soap for hands. Quentin Johnson. I mean, they're going to have to rely on airing the ball out, so it's going to be dependent on how you feel about Justin Herbert's ability to get it done there. But I really don't have a lot of faith in that. I think the Chiefs definitely win this game. I also don't necessarily think they cover. I think it'd probably be 27-24, 24-21, depending on a few of the scores that happen. I actually think it's going to depend a lot on the Chiefs' ability to run the ball as well. I think if Isaiah Pacheco can get going and obviously get back to form, what we're used to seeing from him, I think that you see a little bit higher number for the Chiefs, but I really just don't know how the Chargers are going to be able to get it done with Gus Edwards and I would say Kamani Vidal. Yeah, it's going to be a tough day for them.
Yeah, Hassan Haskins as well in the mix. Asher asking if he should start Ladd or Myers. Myers is a really strong play, so I'd like to start him too somewhere else. But Ladd McConkey is the play. If you think he's going to play, read your reports. Stay up to tune as quickly as you can. I know the Sunday 8:20 is a tough spot. If he does end up ruled out, make sure you have someone on Monday Night Football. Huff said Brandon Cooks is a good plug and play for someone like that. If not, maybe Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston as well. But
I'm in that exact scenario. My plan is if Ladd gets the out, I'm immediately putting in Cooks. I don't love it, but I like it's. He's playing
It's
at
a
night,
definite play,
Sunday
and
Night Football. You don't have many options. Brandon Cooks is a
Weak
number 2
defense.
receiver. I think it's a good fill-in option.
Yeah, going against the Cincinnati Bengals too. Cooper Rush should have a good day. Someone
I
asking
could see
Mac,
a Cooks touchdown tomorrow.
Yeah, I could see that too. I think he's due. I think they kind of want to feed him a little bit now that he's back in the mix after that injury-riddled first.
All right, I got a question. I got a question for you then. Parker Washington or Brandon Cooks?
Parker Washington. I think that Mac Jones connection is something to be talked about, and I think the Titans defense.
Mackie,
is very
let's
weak.
tell him you don't have to defend Mac
don't,
Jones
but if
he's
you-
not a Patriot anymore. I
but
mean,
if you-
you
if
still
you
have the
look-
connection. I get it, but
if you look at the recent weeks, and they're going to be playing from behind against a weak defense. Parker Washington has been popping off as the clear-cut number 2. Doug Peterson
Him
likes
and-
to.
that Mac Jones connection.
I mean, last week they went for
Mac
6
Jones has
for-
never had a
6
connection.
for 103 and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. He had 12 targets last week. Parker Washington did.
Pro Bowler Mac Jones, I should say.
Pro Bowler Mac Jones. As
Wait,
we
so
saw-
Heading in
even
the
with
end
even with Brian Thomas Jr. already in my lineup, you think Parker Washington's still a better play?
That's one scenario where I wouldn't go with both. I wouldn't double down on the Jaguars, but I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game against the Titans this week. I like Parker Washington as a plug-and-play for someone that is going to be out this week, someone on a bye. 12 targets.
Shout out the guy in the chat saying he's going to get us a 20K likes. Let's see if we can push that number.
Exotic Tacos, thank you. I love it. I think I'm starting McCormick over Neighbors, boys. Wow. I mean, hey, I like it. It's going to be a nice running game for both those running backs there. Good matchup. Braylon Allen or Calvin Austin at the flex. I'm going to go Braylon Allen. Tyreek or Marvin Harrison Jr. You heard it here first.
You love Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's
Yeah,
also
big
not going
Marv
up
guy.
against Sauce Gardner. So, yeah,
I'd go
weather
up against
playing a
Sauce Gardner,
factor
have a
today.
decent
Thank you
day.
for that. Mahomes or Kyler Murray? That's a good question, boys.
It's
I like Kyler
Ahmad
Murray.
Gardner. He's not good enough for Sauce anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you get him inside the 5-yard line though, and he can hold you the whole time. He looks pretty good. Someone saying Otten or Jonnu. We're gonna go Jonnu. It pains me to say because I think Otten has a strong day too. That's another scenario where I'd start both tight ends, maybe one in the flex. Njoku, Najee, or more. Let's go with Najee Harris. I think he has the best chance at finding the end zone. Although Njoku's a really strong play as well.
I know who you starting to tight end there.
Yeah, let me see who you've got starting over Njoku. Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr., Haas. I'll pass that one to you. You're a big BTJ guy.
I really am, but I just don't know how I feel about him with Mac Jones. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a safer play. I'd go with if I had the ability to pick, I'd go Marvin Harrison.
Oh, Eduardo starting Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, you got to stick with that. Jennings, Westbrook, Akine, or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson every day of the week. He's on a whole different level from those receivers. A potential top 10 receiver in the NFL, depending on how you look at it. Russ or Winston. We're probably going to go Russ there, Paco. Haas and Huff are firing up Russ this week. Less of a chance to throw an interception, too. I don't know if your league counts negative points for that. And I think Jameis Winston could throw a pair today. Jennings, Keenan, or Mooney. I'm going to go Keenan there. Dowdle or Tracy. Oof, I'll pass that one to Mackey. Rico Dowdle versus the Bengals or Tyrone Tracy versus the Saints?
Tyrone Tracy. I like Tyrone Tracy. I'm big on him.
I think Rico Dowdle scores this week, though.
Really?
I hope he
don't
does.
think the Cowboys. I think they have one rushing touchdown in the season.
And it was last week, though, right?
Yeah, get double
Mackey
down
is
to him though too.
Mackie, as a Cowboys fan, would you like to still have Pollard on that team?
Yeah, I mean, the way he ended last year, he just didn't do it. He just didn't do it by himself over there, and I think he just needed to go. But I mean, we could have brought in Derrick Henry.
I do
Rico
agree with that
Dowdle,
because
so.
I think the fresh start has helped him a lot. I think obviously Tennessee hasn't been good, but he's been a very nice piece for that young Tennessee team.
Yeah, but Jerry didn't want to write the check, Mac. That's the issue.
Well,
You
had to
know,
write the
he
check for a
said
lot of
Derrick
other
Henry
things.
wouldn't do good in our offense. How does a guy like Derrick Henry not do good in any offense?
Derrick Henry
No,
doesn't win
what?
any offense.
Your offense like that. It was weird because I think the Ravens had a similar issue early on, which is why it took a little while for him to get going in Baltimore. But because they said, "Oh, he's not our entire offense. We're going to work him in. We got a lot of pieces." Blah blah blah. But look at what he's done. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, he's undeniable. He's one of the top
You guys
running
are
backs
gonna
in
get
the league.
Ashton Genty. It doesn't even matter.
Or
Yeah.
the Niners will, actually. I saw that they're pushing it. Go for him, too. Shout out to
Niners
Suki.
are gonna
Turn it
get
in the
him?
chat. I'm in the same exact scenario as you. Will Levis or Matt Stafford? I was looking. I had Matt Stafford. I was like, you know what? I'm playing the matchup here. I'm playing the guy with the big arm. I'm going with Will Levis this week. I think he has a lot more air yards against a
Wow.
really weak Jaguars defense, and that's why I fired him up. Stafford, tough matchup. I think there's less points scored by the Rams than there is by the Titans. Expect the over in that Titans-Jaguars game. Levis or Herbert, though, that's another question. I'm going to go Herbert still any day of the week. He's too good of a quarterback.
Let's get into our mortal locks and touchdowns.
Yeah, shout out to we got some mortal locks coming, some definite picks that we want you guys to place. Give us some donations. If you want a good pick here, let us know you're riding with it. Donations for anytime touchdowns in our locks. Huff, let's get into them.
Yeah, I'll go right ahead. My mortal lock is Russell Wilson over 224 passing yards. I got that on ESPN at -125. That is my favorite play of the day. I also am on the Steelers -6.5. My anytime touchdown of the week is Ace. You already hinted at it. Drake London against the Minnesota Vikings +175 anytime touchdown. Give me Drake London.
Yeah, I love that. Mackie, jump into yours here.
Yeah, my mortal lock is going to be the Falcons plus the 6. Cover the points. Give it to me. And my anytime touchdown, I'm gonna go Kyron Williams against the Bills.
I like that one.
Ooh.
My mortal lock is gonna be those Buffalo Bills -3 by the half point, just for the peace of mind. That's just me. -3 for the Bills there this week is my mortal lock against the Los Angeles Rams. Expect a big scoring output. One of my favorite touchdowns is James Cook. Some other ones I really like this week. I think Calvin Ridley finds the end zone on some good value. I think Justin Jefferson finally gets back into the end zone. I think Travis Kelce in the prime time finds the end zone. And then a last one here for you, Rashad White. I know Bucky Irving's taking over, but Rashad White is going to find the end zone. I think both those running backs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get in against the Las Vegas Raiders. Hoss, let us know what you've got.
Honestly, it's not very exciting, and I kind of wish I had a little bit better of an exciting pick for you guys here. But my mortar lock is going to be the same as my anytime touchdown pick of the week, and it's going to be Saquon Barkley. That guy's definitely
Good
getting
pick.
in the end zone. I put everything I own on that one, and I really think he definitely cashes it for me. A little bit more of an exciting play. I'll just let you guys know the other people I was kind of considering, and you'll probably see it on my card. I like Chase Brown to score. I like Bucky Irving to score. Jettas find the end zone. Drake London and Mackey's pick stole it from me. Kyron Williams.
Good plays there.
Sir.
All right,
Yeah, a
anything
couple
else?
questions in the
Anything
chat
else
here.
in the
Ask
chat?
about Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. We'll go Brian Thomas Jr. over Neighbors. I do think the Eagles win today. Covering the spread's a different story. I'm not going to take the big number.
Yeah. Ace, anything else in the chat you want to touch on, or I gotta run in a few minutes, get over to the North Shore for them
I
Steelers.
think that's just about it. Thanks for tuning in, boys. Stu, thanks for tuning in there, buddy. Love the chat here. Go follow us on Instagram, Huff. Let them know where they can find all of our plays. And Brock Bowers is starting over K-Dot and every day of the week for me. Jalen Hurts is a TD hog. Yeah, he is. But Huff, let the people know where they can go follow us and get every single play that we post.
Yeah,
It's
hit the
Brock
books
Bowers.
dot pod, hit the books dot pod on Instagram, hit the books _pod on Twitter. Get all the plays posted in about an hour or so. We'll be logging off here. It's about 10:30. We'll get them posted by 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Feel free to
so
DM us
make
your
sure
fantasy questions there as well. We'll always be free to
or
answer
Twitter.
them.
Yeah, tweet at us. Whatever you got. Any last minute fantasy questions, shoot us a DM, shoot us a tweet on Twitter at hit the books _pod on Twitter. Like I said, we'll get all of our plays out there by 11:30, even noon. Pushing a little bit later, but you'll have all your plays out there at least an hour before the 1 o'clock kicks to lock in and ride with us. But I'll give you my 2 official picks for the 1 o'clock slate. I already said it. Russ over 224. Steelers -6.5. I'm not fucking with these other games. Steelers need a big win today. I think they deliver. Me and Jesse will be there waving the towels, bringing it home. Let's go Steelers. Everyone have a great week, week 14. Like I said, turn on those post notifications, like, share, subscribe, leave us a donation, leave us a like, follow, whatever you got to do. We appreciate the support, and we will see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Football with the Cowboys and Bengals. Thanks for listening. We'll see you Thursday for week 15 in the NFL.